All backing through there.
Morning, Piggy.
Morning. Of course, for us, it's still evening because we didn't sleep.
Nope.
We tried.
Yep.
It just weren't happening.
Nope.
Lord put stuff on her heart to pray about. I went to bed late. Just laid there for about an hour. And she got antsy. And so we just got up. And
wow, yeah, that's nice. Oh, them lights on them trees look pretty.
take a hint. I flashed you twice.
Ooh, Piggy's flashing now.
My lights.
Yeah, you say October 30th.
See,
Christmas.
They'll see my brights being flashed at them. Now, if I flashed anything else, they wouldn't do no good. They wouldn't see nothing. Well, that person didn't even stop either. There've been several this morning. Don't even stop at the stop sign. They just run right through. Some going straight and some treating it like a curve in the road. Just go right on around. So, well, folks, growing up, I grew up in a time of comedians. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Steve Martin. Well, it was a big thing. One of his skits was talking about kids and teaching them wrong when it comes to speaking. You know, by the time they go to kindergarten, I need to go down to the cabbage patch and talking about going to the bathroom. Getting it all mixed up. So, older sibling and other folks thought it was funny to get me joking with them. Dude, them bright lights and when something was funny, I'd laugh, and they'd berate me for laughing because it was supposed to be serious. And then something seemed serious, they'd berate me for being serious because it was supposed to be funny. It's kind of adding that Steve Martin logic to that. So, and yeah, it was a type of bullying. So for years on end, I never tried to joke too much about anything. It felt like every time I did, I'd done something wrong. It took me a while to develop a sense of humor. And then sometimes I still think I might have gone too far or something. I sit there and I think about it and have a little bit of regret. And, and that never gets said. So I figure, well, okay, I'm okay with that. Took till I was in the Marine Corps to start learning how to have a sense of humor.
Get me turned green here just a minute.
And in there, you got to have a sense of humor. And so I did develop one. And from there on after, I started learning more about how to have a sense of humor and all that. But while in the Marine Corps, I had two sergeants. Both of them dark green Marines. Now in the Marine Corps, you called people light green or dark green. White was light green and blacks were dark green. And but one of them was a sergeant when I first met him. The other one was a corporal when I first met him. And the first one was Sergeant Sims. The second one, by the time I got out, had been promoted to sergeant. His name was Sergeant Alexander. And Sergeant Sims, for some reason, had it in for me. And he was straight-laced. He'd gotten all his promotions meritoriously. Basically, he was a butt kisser. And all that. Tried to seem like AJ squared away. And, you know, he did have his uniforms just so, and this, that, and other thing, and all like that. Sergeant Alexander, first come to know him as Corporal, he was from the streets of Chicago. He didn't like me either. Streets of Chicago. Might explain to y'all why. So, Sergeant Sims would always try to bust my chops on one thing or another. Now, folks, I wasn't supposed to even make it into the Marine Corps because I'd always been told I had a touch of asthma. It took later in years for me to find out you've either got it or you don't. And it explains a lot. I had a hard time with the runs when I got out in the fleet, so I had a hard time keeping up. And by my second or third year in, I already knew my body was failing me. I didn't know why. I do now. But then I had no clue. Just couldn't understand it. And come to the runs, I'd be putting the thought out there trying to make them legs move. It always felt like I was running in mud. And everything. Well, had back problems too. And the corpsman up at sick bay, you know, they taught me these exercises to do for my lower back, maybe help out. And everything. One day I was up on the top floor, the big old cage area where we all hung out, the radio operators. And there was more specialty radios up on the top floor, which is where I spent a lot of my time doing preventive maintenance and keeping check on stuff up there. One day there wasn't nothing to do, so I had laid down on a bench, put my knees up, and was working on doing those exercises they taught me to do. Sergeant Sims come up there and he, come on down here. I caught you sleeping. I said, you think so? I said, no, you didn't catch me sleeping. I was doing some exercises the corpsman taught me to help my lower back. Nah, yeah, that's just an excuse. I've heard it all. Got down. I went down the steps a little more than halfway and sat down on the steps. He's wanting to talk to me. And he was doing it in front of all the other Marines. First off, that's not how you do it. You take somebody out to the side to have a talk with them. So he was fair game then, folks. He said, yeah, he's going to tell me this. And I've done, you know, I'm a Sergeant Marine Corps, been in it for this long. And, you know, I've done seen it all. You can't lie to me. And I told him, I said, Sergeant Sims, I said, you ain't but about 4 years older than me, and you've gotten all your promotions by meritorious mass. I seriously doubt you've seen that much more than I have. Folks, have y'all ever seen a black man turn red? He did. He was mad and he stormed out. Corporal Alexander, he was holding his head down. He was trying to keep from busting up laughing because he knew I just busted Sergeant Sims bigger than you know what. But now me and Corporal Alexander, we now see with Sergeant Sims, I also did it in a joking manner, smiling and laughing. He couldn't get me for insubordination that way. So you can tell a joke, make people laugh. You also tell a joke with some serious malice in it and mean every word, but it seems like a joke. And trust me, I know, because me and Corporal Alexander went back and forth doing that all the time. we'd be quote unquote joking around. I knew he meant every word he was saying, but he put it in the form of a joke. Well, I'd tell him some jokes too. And I would put it in a joking context, smiling and laughing. So I couldn't say nothing on him. He couldn't say nothing on me. And because it was in the form of a joke and it was around everybody else, if everybody else was asked, oh, they were smiling and laughing. They're joking around. But we knew. We each meant exactly what we said. And some of mine were kind of exactly how I'd like to see him extinguished. But I'd put it in the form of a joke, smiling and laughing. He knew I meant every word. And Sergeant Sims, he wanted to punish me for getting him the way I did, so he took me out to the motor pool area where we parked all our radio jeeps. There was this big old huge oil spot. He wanted me to dig it out and bag it up in sandbags. Okay. Didn't bother me none. And after so long, I was about chest deep down that big old hole. Bigger than I was tall either which way you went. I dug a big hole. And they used the sandbags to beef up a hill around the curved area around the shop. Finally got enough, I said, you fill it up now. Okay. But while I was digging it out, he come out there and he said, smiling, trying to rub it in. I told him, I said, well, I want to thank you, Sergeant Sims. I said, I'm out here, I'm in the sunlight, I ain't in the dark in there. I said, having a good time, enjoying the sun, get a little exercise and all like that. Y'all ever see a black man turn red? Made him mad. See, he was trying to break me for whatever reason, I don't know. It seemed like it was, on the surface, it was, to them, I was the platoon shitbird and sea lawyer. Now, sea lawyer is somebody who goes around telling folks wrong about Marine Corps regs, but the problem was they were trying to get away with stuff that wasn't right. And I was telling folks, no, they can't do that. Marine Corps regs don't support that. And they hated that. By the end of it, by the time I got out, me and Corporal, then Sergeant Alexander, had actually become pretty much friends. It was in the 80s, and he had this nice Monte Carlo. I was the dirtiest desert rat out there, but I'd clean up nice. They get mad because I'd come out from the field, dirty as all get out, and had to wash all my stuff. Next morning, platoon formation and inspection, my creases were sharper and my boots were spit shinier than their Corps frames. They couldn't understand it. Of course, now Lance Corporals that were less time and grade than me were coming up for meritorious promotion to Corporal. Well, they wanted to make sure they knew what it was to be a Marine and make sure they knew their job as a radio operator. Guess who they sent them all to? The sea lawyer. The shitbird. Imagine that. That Monte Carlo, Corporal Alexander's, as dirty as a desert rat as I was the only one he would ever offer a ride to back up to the barracks at the end of the day. It was only 2 or 3 times. He didn't offer nobody else that opportunity. We had come to know and respect each other. And I respected him because he went in the Marine Corps to get away from where he was at. And he actually happened to love being in the Marines. I think he also secretly loved how I handled Sergeant Sims. He respected me because I kept it real. Told the truth of the matter. Even though we'd done all that joking around, quote unquote. But that joking around, again, like I said, carried serious malicious intent in the early couple of years. Mr. Rabbit, you know, so.
He's running later, we are.
I don't know. But, all that said to say this. Somebody can cross a line and will realize it and have regret over it. It's one thing. Somebody crossed the line and is arrogant enough to not have any regret on it and think they did no wrong. There's some kind of malicious intent. They mean what they actually mean what they said, even though they put it in a joke. Sorry, not sorry. That's just how it is. So, cutting up, giving folks a hard time is all right now. Ain't anything wrong with it. But some lines just shouldn't be crossed. Period. Because it's not a joke. It can be put in the form of a joke. But it is harmful. The good thing is those that get that pointed towards them know how to handle it. That's fine. That was me and Corporal Alexander. We knew how to handle it. We didn't think nothing of it. I think that was our way of fighting. To see what each other was made of. And in the end, we both had respect for each other. He made sergeant. I congratulated him and told him, I said, that extra stripe looks good on you, Sergeant Alexander. He kind of smiled and shook my hand. Appreciate that. He'd earned it, time and grade, unlike Sergeant Sims. That was the difference. And Sergeant Alexander knew to take someone off to the side if they needed talking to. And so there was some good come of it. But to cross the line and be arrogant about it, didn't think you did anything wrong, I got to question your motives. I got to question your intent. Because folks just don't realize we can reveal ourselves in ways that a lot of folks don't realize. It tells on you. See, I've been there, done that. Know what it's about. And I can pick it up in others. Yeah, I can read a person's face. I was in Randy's live yesterday, and there's a couple of nice black ladies that was in there with him and got to talk with them. And I summed them up in about 5 minutes. I told them exactly what they were like. They smiled and laughed and said, wow, you know. One was one way, one was the other. They were sisters. We had a great time. And, you know, I can usually read people, facial expressions or the lack thereof. tone of voice, inflections, body language. I mean, there's a whole lot to it. I've become pretty good at reading those things. So have to be careful about knowing where to go with something and where not. Joking around is all good and fine and everything, but run across situations like that kind of makes me want to back off on joking around, because there's some that just don't know what they've revealed. And can't say nothing. Can't do nothing. I'm old, poor, broke down, and can't do nothing in any kind of way. But I don't have to do anything in any kind of way. I can just talk about it. And people can either listen up to the truth of it or not. And that's just how that is. So anyway, Piggy loves you.